Welcome, TBW Clips. I am Tyson. Today, we're getting into this clash at the campuses, UCLA campus. See what happened there. Let's take a look at this clip.
Takedowns at college protest encampments, leaving hundreds more arrested. But tonight, the pro-Palestinian movement they joined is still alive and playing out at dozens more of the tent camps that have popped up at other campuses across the country. California Highway Patrol officers on the front lines of a crackdown at UCLA overnight, tearing down the makeshift barricades erected by pro-Palestinian supporters and moving in to arrest those who defied orders to disperse. The sweeping operation captured on live TV. President Biden breaking his silence on the demonstrations, expressing his support for peaceful protests, but adding we're a civil society and order must prevail. An NBC News count shows over 2,100 people have been arrested nationwide since the demonstrations began. Tonight
Wow, that's a lot of people arrested, protesting. I think they're protesting stuff that I think many people have said this. They don't know much about, right? I don't know enough about what's Israel and the Palestinians past to come to a conclusion on who's the good guys and who's the bad guys, whose land it belongs to. But I do know that Hamas, the Palestinians, attacked Israel. And because of that, I do believe Israel has the right to defend itself. So that's where I stand on the whole situation, the whole Israel-Palestinian situation. Now, a lot of these protesters, from what I've seen and heard, they're not quite, let's see, how do I word this correctly? They're not protesting in an effective manner, meaning I don't think they're protesting to the correct people for what their message, for what they want their message to come across as. I think that their message, I could be wrong, let me know if I am down in the comments. I highly doubt it though. I think they're protesting the money that's being sent from America to help Israel. And I guess they don't want America to take any sides. I don't think that's it. I think they want America to take the side of the Palestinians, because I think they've also were protesting to give aid to the Palestinians. So they're calling for a ceasefire, but they're doing it on campuses instead of at city government capitals, because they have to have a vote to do that, right? I believe from Congress. But I don't think we should get involved in Israel's stuff anyway. Let them do what they're doing. They're our allies, so if they need our aid, any aid or any help, then we're there for them. So that's what's going on here. Yeah, and these riots, they're riots, right? So they're not mostly peaceful, or are they? During the BLM riots, they call them mostly peaceful. I'm comparing the two because I believe George Soros funded both of them. Soros funded BLM protesters as well as the protesters here. So it's the same people that are doing this. And it's a shame that the kids are getting caught up in this, because they're doing it out of ignorance. I don't think they know exactly what they're doing and the harm that it can cause them also. Let's get back to the video.
Take you into the chaos. Here's Liz Kreutz.
With the clashes between college campus demonstrators and police reaching new heights, today President Biden condemning violent, disruptive protests.
Vandalism, trespassing, breaking windows, shutting down campuses, forcing the cancellation of classes and graduations. None of this is a peaceful protest. Threatening people, intimidating people, instilling fear in people is not a peaceful protest. It's against the law.
Dozens of universities and colleges.
I will say this. This is not, I'm not there and I haven't seen it close hands, but it does not seem as though it's as worse as a BLM protesting. And I didn't hear any Democrats come out and condemn them or say anything. Mostly peaceful, that's all I pretty much heard. He didn't break down, hey, no looting, none of this, no that, no that. But he did here. Why? Votes from the Jewish community is strong. Remember that.
Across the country continuing to grapple with how to handle the growing movement of pro-Palestinian demonstrators. This morning at UCLA, law enforcement breaching the massive encampment just before dawn.
All right, police are right here right now. You hear the flashbangs there, but the police, they are breaching the barrier, trying to make their way into the encampment. The students, though, they're pushing back and trying to hold the line.
Demonstrators, many of them in hard helmets and gas masks, appearing to use fire extinguishers aimed at police trying to fend them off. Police pushing back with overwhelming numbers. California Highway Patrol officers making hundreds of arrests.
We're not going to back down. We have to be forced.
Students demanding divestment from Israel, but also taking their protests beyond the war in Gaza, calling for defunding the police as well, and asking supporters to bring them supplies, including material for shields, umbrellas, and water. Today, the campus left covered in trash and busted tents. The university's iconic Royce Hall defaced with graffiti. Some of those arrested, now released from a downtown jail, speaking out.
How do I feel? I've never felt more proud of myself or my community.
Across the country at Columbia University in New York, the NYPD today releasing portions of body cam video from Tuesday night's raid to clear Hamilton Hall. Police finding protesters sitting on the ground with arms linked. Nationwide, more than 2,100 arrests have been made connected with campus protests. Today, Portland State University campus closed down as police made 12 arrests and cleared the school's library. Overnight, 4 arrested at Yale, 90 removed from campus at Dartmouth. And at the University of Wisconsin's Madison campus, defiant students reestablishing their tents just 24 hours after police disbanded the encampment there.
We're going to be here indefinitely until they meet our demands.
Back at UCLA, cleanup is underway. Professor
Who
Graham
meets
Blair,
their
who was
demands?
arrested this morning in
And
the
what are their
encampment, is
demands?
defending the students' right to protest, despite some of the tactics they've used.
I think anyone who is worried about graffiti on buildings on a college campus needs to come visit a college campus. It's 18-year-olds who are learning for the first time how to express themselves.
Liz, what is UCLA saying about what played out there this morning?
That's a college professor.
Well, Lester, the UCLA chancellor says that protesters were given several warnings to leave, but that ultimately the encampment here was unlawful and had become a huge disruption here on campus. They said because of that, it had to be removed to restore campus safety. Lester?
Much different scene behind you, Liz. Thank you. All this is having an impact in the 2024 presidential campaign. President Biden facing pressure over the ongoing protests as former President Trump praised the NYPD campus crackdown. Gabe Gutierrez is at the White House.
President Biden's condemnation of violent campus protests are his first on-camera comments about the growing controversy in more than a week.
There's the right to protest, but not the right to cause chaos.
The president says he won't call in the National Guard, and he bluntly rejected the protesters' demands to change his policy in the Middle East.
Mr. President, have the protests forced you to reconsider any of the policies with regard to the region?
No.
President Biden is facing mounting political pressure.
That's what this whole thing is about. Now, these protesters are Democrats. These protesters are Democrats. So they're not having any effect on Biden's decision. So that will definitely hurt him in the election.
Sure, some Democrats want him to do more to support Palestinians, while many Republicans are blasting him for not speaking out earlier.
In moments like this, There are always those who rush in to score political points. But this isn't a moment for politics. It's a moment for clarity.
Still, the war is playing a larger role in the 2024 campaign. For months on the trail, the president's faced growing pro-Palestinian protests.
I used to believe until I realized who you are.
But the tensions are boiling over this week.
These are radical left lunatics. And they got to be stopped now because it's going to go on and on.
Former President Trump is praising the police response at Columbia University.
It was a beautiful thing to watch. New York's finest.
But Mr. Trump is also drawing controversy for an interview where he would not commit to respecting the outcome of the election, saying if everything's honest, I'll gladly accept the results.
What's
if
wrong
it's
with
not,
that?
you have to fight for the right of the country. The president firing back late today.
Mr. President, are you worried that Trump says he won't accept the election results?
I know we're at the end, but you see how they switched that? He won't accept the election results if they cheated. Who would? He said if it's fair and honest, he would accept it. They go straight to, hey, Trump said he's not going to accept the election. So what are your thoughts on that? If it's fair and honest, he would, right?
And Gabe, we can circle back to the protests for a moment. The president's remarks, I understand, were a last-minute add to his schedule.
Yes, Lester, but the White House insists the president was not bowing to political pressure. Biden campaign officials, meanwhile, previously downplayed the college protests, arguing that young people care more about other issues like the economy and abortion rights. Lester?
Okay, Gabe Gutierrez, thank you. Thanks for watching. Stay updated about breaking news.
And, you know, I'm going to say this. Like I said, this is Democrats doing this. BLM. You heard that they said that they wanted to defund the police. There were chants in the protests about that. So these are the same people. And the reason why they're doing this, because they were allowed to get away with it during the BLM riots. I'm not going to say protests. It was not mostly peaceful. There were some that were, but a lot was not peaceful. So they allowed them to get away with it. They didn't condemn it. The vice president, along with other prominent Democrats, bailed some of these people out. So they created an atmosphere for this to happen today. And also, the things that the kids are learning created an atmosphere to do this. From the teachers, the faculty, allowing and they're promoting it. So I don't feel bad or sad about what's going on in these campuses. I think they kind of deserve it. It's coming back to bite them, right? Their own teachings is coming back to bite them. When you say that when you start rewarding people for being victims, then everybody's going to be a victim. Everybody's going to want to be rewarded. And that's what's happening here. I could be wrong, but I doubt it. If you guys think I am, let me know down in the comments. And I appreciate you guys once again. Take care.